Hi, welcome to Take 10 Texture. In this video, I'm going to use texture in smaller amounts for a more subtle look on my layout. So let's get started with the process right away. So I was inspired by the supplies that I had out after my last video, which was called Just Us, and I had some crate paper embellishments out that had a pool theme. I think it's called Poolside. Anyhow, I decided to print up this recent picture of my family swimming in the pool, and I was kind of sitting poolside with a margarita that my neighbor had made me. And I'm going to scrapbook that picture based on the supplies that I had on my desk that I wanted to use. And I also wanted to scrapbook that picture. So I just went to my supplies and I got a piece of watercolor paper. And the watercolor paper that I use is Strathmore cold press watercolor paper, and it's 140 pounds. And I really love that paper because it stands up to a lot of mixed media. I'm starting by wetting my paper, and look at what those drops do when they hit the water. It's amazing. Those are Liquitex acrylic ink. That I just dropped onto my page, and I am going to just sop up everything. And the color that I'm using right here is Turquoise Deep, and I'm just going to clean up my space a little bit. I ended up splattering quite a lot in my background area, like in some of my storage area, so I'm going to clean up a little bit. I have this Vim, which is probably the best cleaner for white tabletops that I've ever found. It's a cream cleaner, so it's a little harsh, but it works really well on a melamine surface like my desktop. So now I'm ready to add some more color. I'm just going to take some white, some titanium white, and some cerulean blue, just to get a little bit of variety in the look of my background. And I'm just checking out my swatch book to make sure that these are the colors that I want. So there's some cerulean blue, and you see how it swirls and moves around, and I'm just kind of wiping it and wetting it to get it to move around a little bit, and literally just kind of like wiping that one off. I wanted this background to be mostly the turquoise, but to just have a little bit of the cerulean blue just as a bit of accent and for a little bit of variety. So I added some white, and then I added some more of the turquoise, and I didn't want all the streaks to be going in the same direction, so I added the other bit of turquoise up on the other side so that it wouldn't all be kind of going from one side to the other side. So I cleaned up my space, and now I'm just going to dry this with my heat gun. And I used a whole lot of water. You'll notice that I keep a mist bottle in my scrapbooking room. It's just a regular misting bottle that you'd use to mist plants or to mist your hair. I keep it filled with water here in my scrap room, and I use it for a variety of things, from watercolor techniques like this one to cleaning my desk. I'll sometimes just spray some water on and grab a paper towel in order to clean some marker or paint up off my desk. And I also use it for keeping the cats down out of the areas that they're not supposed to be in. I'm using my Tim Holtz Distress tool right now, and I'm just going to go all the way around the edges of this watercolor paper. And watercolor paper is really stiff, so it can take a good beating. And I like to have the edges be distressed on this kind of an application, just because it's one more form of texture. And the paper itself has quite a lot of texture to it. You'll see that it's kind of rolling up there. I'm going to stick it down with my ATG, and then I'm also going to sew it. But the watercolor paper itself has a nice texture to it. Like it adds another dimension of interest there. So here I'm using my sewing machine. I have blue thread in my sewing machine because I haven't changed it yet. And I'm just going all the way around in a nice, neat line. So as opposed to the last layout where I did lots of messy back and forth stitching, this time I'm trying to keep it straight, and I'm trying to just do one single non-wobbly line. And I'm just going to cut the threads off there, and that's what it looks like. And so there I've pulled out, and I of course ended up misting my photo by accident. Some of the water oversprayed onto my photo along with the whole rest of my desk and all of my supplies. So I had to just reprint it and retrim up my photo. My photo is printed at 2.8 by 2.8 just because it was a low quality. It didn't come out very good, so I didn't want to print it too big. Now I'm going to take a hunk of this cheesecloth, which is something that I talked about in my video about texture. And cheesecloth adds some really nice dimension, but because it's white, it kind of has a tendency to disappear on a background like this, and that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to matte my photo in a little bit of vellum. It's a patterned vellum, but it's a white on white pattern, so it's not all that noticeable. It's just, again, it's the subtle details in this layout. So see, there's a very subtle pattern, and then I'm layering it over the cheesecloth. And when I first cut that cheesecloth into a square, it was a little bit too big. Basically, I don't want the cheesecloth to be screaming at you. I don't want it to say, hey, look, she put a piece of cheesecloth on this layout. I want it to be kind of hidden. I'm going to be putting some things around it to cover some of it. But I just don't want so much of it sticking out. I want just enough that I can get the texture of the jaggedy edges of thread all the way around it, but I don't want it so sticking out that it's obvious that it's a piece of cheesecloth. So here's what I'm doing. This is a technique of layered punches that I like to use. I used to do this ages ago. I used to do this a whole lot, and I haven't done it for a while, so I'm revisiting an old technique. So I am using my border punch. I'm layering two different sized scalloped border punches, and both with a whitish with white colored substances. So I have the vellum, the pattern vellum, and then I have the coffee filter. And the coffee filter is a bit more fibrous than regular paper, and it's also a little bit more see-through. And you see, it almost looks like I'm making a little hat there, but I'm not. I'm just folding both of those punches so that they kind of fold over each other and also over my photo. But I don't want the scallop to cover up my shoes because I like my shoes and I want them to be seen in the picture. So I had to just kind of fiddle around with it a little bit to get it so that those scallops are going to fold over my photo and layer over nicely without covering too much. And then I can pull up the coffee filter and the vellum like I just was and get some extra texture and dimension. And of course, having sewn down the edge of it like I just did, it gives it even more texture from the sewing. So that's what that looks like. And I really, really love that look. I have to say that is one of my favorite looks. I forgot all about the fact that I used to layer my border punches like that and fold them over things. It just gives such a nice dimension, especially for a scallop border punch. So that is my main photo, I guess the photo part of my layout, and I'm not going to use that. It's too gray. I want this layout to be mostly white and that pool blue color. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm going into my stash and I'm looking for, I was pretty sure that I had some pool themed paper, and there it is. I have Shoreline from American Crafts, and I have a mini kit from Echo Park that's called Sunshine. But it turns out that all of the papers that I'm going to use here are from Shoreline. And Shoreline is an older American Crafts line that I bought when I was fairly new to scrapbooking, and I have dipped into this every single summer since. It's just one of those collections that's very versatile and timeless, really. Like, I mean, you wouldn't know by looking at this collection that it is at least 5 years old. It looks very current. I love that about it. So I pulled out a couple of different pieces of paper from that collection. I don't want too much pattern going on. I don't want too much busyness in this. So I really like this tone on tone blue pattern, and I kind of liked how it had the yellow and blue strip at the bottom of it. So I'm going to use that brick-like pattern. What I like about the brick-like pattern is it introduces two new colors, which is red and yellow. And I'm going to use both of those colors sparingly, especially the yellow, but I'm going to use the red sparingly as well. So the yellow across the bottom was just a little bit too much, but I did leave, when I cut that yellow strip off, I did leave the navy blue strip at the bottom, and I think that's a nice added bit of interest to the layers. So I went to my word drawer and I pulled out, I keep these Heidi Swapp letters. I have several different packages of Heidi Swapp letters here, like leftovers from several packages, or at least two packages, maybe only two or three. Anyhow, I keep all of my Heidi Swapp words in like those acetate words, in a little Ziploc baggie in my word drawer. And so I thought the word enjoy was really relevant here. And I was thinking, am I going to make enjoy be part of the title? Like I thought, enjoy the pool at the Murphys, or enjoy. I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do for my title, but I knew I wanted pool, so I thought I better at least pull out the letters for the word pool. The letters that I'm using here, they're from Pink Paisley, and they're from the Switchboard collection. And they're just chipboard letters, which is not my favorite kind of letters because you have to dig around to find the letters that you're looking for, which I don't really love doing, but that's okay. I thought I'd show you that. A text came in from my mother-in-law showing me my girls. The reason I've had a chance to scrapbook so much in the last couple of days is that my girls are down in New Glasgow visiting their grandparents in a cottage. And so I'm going to put those away. I pulled out the letters for the word side as well because I wasn't sure if I was going to say poolside or enjoying the pool at the Murphys, and pull out some other letter stickers to do the rest of that phrase. So I'm going to just think about that. And while I think, I'm just going to put together these layers. I wanted that colorful brick pattern to span both sides of the blue horizontal piece of pattern paper. So in order to do that, I just cut a piece and extended it down. It's the cheater method to make a paper bigger than it really is. So I'm going to staple enjoy over here. At this point, I've decided to use the word enjoy as an embellishment as opposed to part of the title. So I have my letters for Poolside spelled out there on the blue pattern paper, but I'm not loving it. I feel like I need something to go underneath of it. So meanwhile, I'm looking to see if I can spell out Murphy's in red because I'm using red as my accent color for this layout because of the red on the solo cup that I'm holding. And the Y didn't come in red in that font. Those are Lawn Fawn. No, not Lawn Fawn. They're Freckled Fawn stickers, letter stickers. And now these are Freckled Fawn chipboard stickers. These are all, and this is from Freckled Fawn too. They're all from a kit, the Oh Dear Me kit. I forget which month, maybe May. And that Freckled Fawn kit also came with these really nice rubber puffy stickers with bright, bright colors, and there are hits of red in that arrow sticker sheet. So I'm going to pull those out. And then there's also some red in these words here. So the words say summertime, swim, in the sunshine, at the pool. And I'm just lining them up along the edges here to cover up some of that cheesecloth that was sticking out the side. And I love this sticker that looks like a pool, like the tile on a pool. I love it. And I also have that blue grid paper behind in the background. You can see it there. I'm thinking about maybe matting my layout on that paper. It reminds me of a pool, of the tile of a pool deck or the inside of a pool. So I thought this was appropriate. I don't usually do themed layouts. This is about as themey as I get. I like this amount of theme. Not like a big giant picture of a pool, but just, some things that are like a throwback to the pool. Like a shout out, I guess, to the pool. Anyhow, I decided to put a red arrow up beside the P in the word pool, and then this is a sticker from Glitz Designs that's really bright red, and I'm basically just looking through all of my stickers for anything red, and of course not much red comes in scrapbooking supplies. It seems like not many people make red. I love red. Red is my very favorite color, and so I'm just going to check and see if Poolside will fit on this sticker, because remember how I said I felt like I needed something behind the word pool, the title Poolside? Well, this sticker seems like it's going to fit the bill, so I just need to scooch it around a little bit. And I like how that looks. So I'm going to glue everything down now before I get too far. And that sticker just looked a little bit crooked to me, so I'm just going to pull it off and move it up a little bit more. There we go. That's better. And now I'm going to squeeze the word pool and the word side into that sticker. I might need to overlap some of these letter stickers. They're not stickers, of course, but these letters in order to make that happen. And this L has to sit on a couple of layers of cheesecloth, so I had to put a little bit of extra glue just to make it stick to the sticker, and not if it was only stuck to the cheesecloth, it might flop around a little bit inside of my album. So I'm just going to glue this second O. It's actually the first O if you're reading the word from left to right, so that it overlaps with the other O. And the E seems to be, I put enough glue on it that it's soaking through into the sticker. I can tell that it seems to be sticking to the sticker, so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm using Tombow Mono Multi adhesive to stick these letters down. And so I thought I'd put At the Murphys right here so that my title will be Poolside at the Murphys, or just Poolside, and then At the Murphys will be sort of like a subtitle. So I'm going to spell Murphys backwards so that I can make sure that it's going to end where I want it to end. And I made the Y and the S be right beside each other so that I can come back and add an asterisk, like a little apostrophe there. But all of the other letters I'm going to overlap, because if I don't, I'm going to run out of space on this little chipboard piece. And again, this is a chipboard piece from the Freckled Fawn embellishment kit. And so I'm spelling out the, and it looks like at is just not going to fit on this chipboard piece. But the Murphys fits nicely. So I'll figure out something else to do for the at symbol. And I don't know, oh yes, I'm looking for something gold. And so I have this metallic marker from American Crafts. It's a bold font, like it's a bold point, but it works okay. You see, I put the apostrophe in there. I just put it off screen, but it's there now. So I have those 3 hits of red. Besides the solo cup, I have the At the Pool sticker and the 2 arrows are the hits of red so far, but I'm going to add even more red. And there is also another red sticker that's out of frame right now, but you'll see it in a second, I hope. So the silver sticker is already stuck down. I can move it pretty easily. The thing about watercolor paper is that stickers don't stick all that well to it. So that means that these stickers are going to be fairly forgiving. But it also means that I might need to just check and make sure that I don't have to reinforce any of this stuff before I put it into my scrapbook. So this is another Freckled Fawn sticker, and it's from a reading themed set, but this particular sticker just says "so awesome," so it's not apparent that it's about books. So I'm still working out where I'm going to put that red tab sticker that is from Glitz Designs. And I'm still looking for more red elements. So I pulled out my puffy stickers, and there's this Amy Tangerine one that says adventure. And I'm going to play around with a couple of different places that I could put it. But it's going to go right there. And then I finally decided that I would put that Glitz Design sticker up there in the corner, and then it's going to need a couple of friends up there with it. So I'm going to get these Studio Calico chipboard circle stickers. I love these. Oh my God, these are one of my very favorite embellishments. I just discovered I had them in my stash for a long time before I ever did anything with them. And I was kind of kicking myself that I hadn't just bought a whole bunch of them or something. I don't even know where they came from. Maybe Stephanie gave them to me. So I knew all along that I would need something on that blue hexagon down there. And so that red dot is perfect. So I have some red dots in all three of my embellishment clusters right now. So there's a cluster up here that I'm working on right now. There's a cluster by the P in Poolside, and then there's another cluster below around where the Murphys is spelled out. So those are my three main clusters. And then there's also those words down the side as well. So I put another Amy Tangerine puffy sticker just below the word stickers that were already there. That one says hello, and it's just the right color, so I'm just putting it there. And then this triangle I thought looked better with these other stickers. It kind of looks more geometric, and I like it for that reason. And then I found another one of those freckled fawn stickers. It says yes please. So there we go. That's how it's going to look. At this point, I'm really just fussing with embellishments. I'm going to put POW right there to fill that space right above the word summertime. I'm going to adhere the red chipboard sticker to the turquoise hexagon chipboard sticker and put them both down on the layout. Oh, I'm sorry you can't see that. I just put a blue arrow from that same set of freckled fawn arrows. They're a real nice rubbery matted type of texture. And so you've missed a little part of my process because I forgot to hit record. What I did was I cut down the white cardstock and matted it on that grid of pool blue paper. And then I also dripped some silver Mr. Huey's in the three clusters of embellishments that I talked about. So there's one of them, and then there's the other, and then the other one is up in the top corner there. And I thought I was done, but I'm actually not quite done. So I was thinking about it, and it just looked like the title was missing a little something, a little texture actually. So what I decided to do was get my glaze pens, and this is a really great way to add a watery texture to your project. And these glaze pens, they're by Sakura, and I'm just testing them out because I have 3 different shades of blue. And although I was pretty sure I'd want to use the light blue, I thought for a second I might want to use the royal blue because so I thought even though I have a swatch book that shows me what it looks like, I wanted to see what it looked like on a letter. So I just took the number 8 because I thought I'd probably never use that one. And I tried it out, and sure enough, I wanted to go with the light blue. So I'm taking my Sakura glaze pen and I'm just slowly outlining all the way around each of these letters just to give them a little bit more emphasis so that they'll stand out a little bit more on the page. And this pen works really smoothly, and it's almost like you're applying paint with a ballpoint pen, because as soon as you start moving your pen, the liquid starts to glide right out of the pen, and it's amazingly smooth, and it's really, really easy to use. So there are my outlined letters, and I don't really like them. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna let them dry a little bit. It takes a few minutes for that gel pen to dry, not too long. Then I thought, ugh, I think I'll like it better just colored in all the way. So that's what I'm doing. I'm coloring it in all the way. I just felt like it looked a little bit too sketchy or doodly or something. I mean, sometimes I really like that sketchy doodly outlined look, as you know, because I do it a lot on my layouts. But in this particular layout, I just didn't think that it was the right look. So I decided to fill these in. And this is what I mean about this pen. Like you can just, it's almost like painting. Like I just kind of let the liquid flow right out of the pen, and then I just move it around to fill in the space between the lines that I outlined. So it was super easy. See how fast that was? I mean, obviously it was it was not quite that fast in real life, but you get the picture. It's pretty easy to use that kind of a pen. And now those letters look a lot more watery, and they're slightly shiny. You're going to get to see them right now. And I think that they really fit with the theme of the layout, and they also just stand out a little bit more on the layout. So here's my favorite part of the layout, this folded over layered border punch with the scallops. I just love that. And now here's this other little cluster. I love the hits of red. I love turquoise and red together. And then there's just tiny, tiny little bits of yellow in this layout, just in the pattern paper and in one of the stickers. So I thought I would show you guys what a layout looks like if you use texture with a little bit more restraint, because my last two layouts were really overboard with the texture, but it's nice to have a variety of different looks in your album. So I thought I would just go ahead and show another look that you can get from using lots of different textures in terms of the materials I used on this. Like the scrapbooking materials are a combination of puffy stickers and wood and chipboard and shiny stickers, and different textures of add-ons like the watercolor paper and the cheesecloth and the vellum and the coffee filters. And then, of course, that acetate Enjoy gives it just another dimension for us to enjoy. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you back in the classroom.